Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
What a play. Aikens!
I think I got pieces. It's just that we got to put the pieces together.
I think we want to take advantage of the opportunity, right? To get a chance to play our rival at home, and we're playing good hockey right now, and I think just finishing strong.
So I think what I figured out is this, Audrey. I'd like to make a 15-point run at the end of the game. Then I'd be better off.
With just 7 regular season games remaining, MSU men's basketball coach Tom Izzo is confident his team will be able to string together the wins it needs to make a run down the stretch. All the Spartans have to do is stick to Izzo's old adage of defend, rebound, and run. And one player he's banking on to facilitate it all is A.J. Hoggard. This should come as no surprise considering Izzo views his point guards as the quarterbacks of his teams. And as Hoggard shared with our Haley Schoengart, his goal is to have his name mentioned among some of the best to ever don the green and white.
You had a really strong sophomore season, but this year you've really kind of kicked it up a notch. What did you do in the off season, not only to prepare all of the stuff needed on the court, but also with your mind and your body and emotionally to get ready to kind of put on the performance you've put on this year so far?
I just know I had to take another step for the team, and I just kind of doubled what I did going into my sophomore year and took a different approach. I know I was going to be in a bigger role this year for the team, and I had to step up at all costs. So I just took it day by day, just in here working on my game, my body, and just never getting too high or too low with it, knowing that there's going to be ups and downs. I can't expect me to come out and just do the things that I've done every night, because there's going to be ups and downs with it. So just kind of staying level-headed with the ups and the downs, and just continuing to trust in my work and letting it all show on the court.
What's it like being a point guard at Michigan State? You know, a role that Tom Izzo has had high hopes for years.
It's really hard at times, to just be totally honest with you, but it's fun at the same time. You get to play at a point guard spot at a prestigious program for a prestigious coach and get to learn from him. So just being out there at that spot and learning from him each and every day and just growing and being here after the guys that came through here and getting an opportunity to put my name up there with theirs if I do what I'm supposed to do. And it's just fun and exciting to know what can come with it.
Did you always kind of have that leadership skill set in you, or is that something you really had to discover when you got here to Michigan State?
I think I always had it. I think I didn't know. That was some of the things that Coach told me, that I have a voice and I need to use it, and kind of selfishly if I don't, because he trusts me with my voice. So I had to grow. We had countless conversations about me being a leader, and I'm just using my voice and trusting my knowledge that I have, and just extending it to the guys. And being an extension of him, it's kind of difficult at times because, you just sometimes get caught in the moment and just sitting back and just letting him take over a lot of things. And just being attention to the court this year makes it a lot easier for all of us. Of the guys, we trust one another. They trust me, so it's definitely easier being a leader this year for the guys.
Is there a moment that sticks out where everything kind of clicked of, like, this is the role he wants me to take, I need to take it?
Yeah, a couple game situations, just him showing me times where I could have been better with just leading and dictating what's going on in the game at that time, especially being the point guard, the guy with the ball majority of the game, and the extension of him. So just doing a better job in that sense of just leading and directing things, if that's late game, if that's offense or defense, just doing a better job and holding guys accountable. So that's definitely what our conversation's been about.
Is it hard getting feedback from him? Things that, you really don't want to hear, but he has to tell you?
Nah, I don't think it's really hard. I think coach is going to be coach, and he's going to coach. So he's definitely going to tell you when you're doing good and tell you when you need to pick it up a little bit. And he doesn't have a problem with doing that because at the end of the day, he wants the best for you. So, and we all want to win. So definitely taking the constructive criticism from him and him dishing it out is definitely easy for him.
And what are some things that you took from your experience playing on the East Coast that you've really kept true to your heart here at Michigan State?
I'll just say bringing toughness. That's what Coach strives about, playing with toughness. So just bringing my toughness with me everywhere I go. That definitely gets you in the door, and also bringing your game as well. Got to have a game that travels. So I just think bringing my toughness and my game was definitely something that I kept with me.
You kind of listed off some of the greatest point guards, not only when you talk about basketball, but definitely when you talk about Michigan State basketball. Where do you want your name to be when people talk about the greatest point guards to ever don the green and white?
I just want to be in the conversation. It'd just be an honor to be mentioned with those guys. It's a lot of greats, a lot of great guys that came through here and did a lot of great things after they left here. So just being able to be mentioned with those guys in that conversation would definitely just be an honor.
Hoggard may not be the Spartans' leading scorer, but he does lead them in assists, and his 8 against Maryland made all the difference in the Spartans' 63-58 win. There were a lot of positives Izzo also took away from the Spartans' day with the Terrapins, and he discusses them with us when we come back.
Experiencing a Spartans game is a lot like life. Farm Bureau Insurance sees the connection and is a proud supporter of Michigan State athletics. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
At MSU FCU, we believe that if you can dream it, you can achieve it. With a variety of certificate options, you can find the one that matches your savings goals. In 3 months, you'll be sporting that new watch. In 6 months, you'll finally take that vacation you so desperately need. In 1 year, you'll begin a new chapter in your life. And in 2 years, your family will get a little bit bigger. Achieving your dreams is possible when you earn more on your savings. Open a certificate today at msufcu.org.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Similar to last week, there's still a log jam in the Big Ten men's basketball standings, and Michigan State finds itself in the middle of it all. It's why Tuesday's win over Maryland was so important, and it's safe to say the Spartans' offensive woes from the Big Apple did not carry over to the Breslin Center. They got off to a roaring start, and it's where Tom Izzo and I begin our chat this week. How did you like how you started the game on a 15-0 run?
Loved it. But you know what it proved? It proved that we've started out Iowa the opposite way, just about, and we won the game. So I think what I figured out is this, Audrey. I'd like to make a 15-point run at the end of the game.
Yes.
Then I'd be better off.
Right. In the Maryland game, right at the end, you know, you've kind of been looking for this person maybe this year to spark it. Like Gabe could dunk the ball for you last year and it would just blow the roof off the Breslin. Jaden has that capability. He did that against Maryland. Usually you don't like guys to do that towards the end of a game, I would say, but what did you think when he threw it down into that emphatic
Here was
slam?
the problem, you know, like somebody would say, I'd never dunk at the end of a game if it was a breakaway and we were up 5-7 points, but it was a 3-point game. So the game was still, and there was 5 seconds left. What I told him I didn't like is he hung on the rim, and that, you know, was close. I mean, he could have hung a little longer. But we have a lot of positive and negative teaching points every game. But I think in general, Jaden's shot has been unbelievable. He's shooting the ball very well.
I know during the media timeouts, you're really focused on what's going on in the huddle. Did you get a chance to take a glimpse during the first media timeout against Maryland to see Mike Garland and everyone get honored?
I did. And I'm glad you brought it up because I saw Mike the day after the game and he said it was so cool. And I said, yeah. I said, those people are so important. He says, yeah, we win games. They save lives. Doesn't make any sense that we get all the credit and all the, you know, limelight and they get nothing. And I think more than anything, bringing awareness, you know, part of cure for cancer and stuff is when you raise money, that helps. But if you raise awareness, people do a better job of not getting it because of the awareness of it, you know. Smoking cigarettes, just for a dumb example. In this case, I think we brought awareness, Mike brought awareness to how many people were involved in saving a person's life. You know, the passerby just pulled over. The guy doesn't pull over, Mike's dead. Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Riggleworth and their department, the ambulance driver, the nurses when he got to the hospital, the doctors when he got there. You know, it just keeps on going. I mean, there were so many people involved in this to save one human being's life. And I think I'm important. Joke, you know. Those are the important people, and it's nice to bring 15,000 people to reality that let's figure out who the most important people are and then let's enjoy the game.
It does shine a different perspective on a lot of things. You know, you brought that up. And it seems like too now, because with Damar Hamlin going through what he went through as well, just bringing more awareness to let people know, hey, this is how you do CPR. I mean, a lot of people don't even know. I don't know how to do CPR.
Yeah. You know, it's a very, very good point. And one of the things when the season ends, that's what we're going to do with our team. We're going to put everybody through it. A lot of different ways that we can have an impact. But is winning a game, you know, it's life and death to me, right? Until I get that call in August and I'm driving 90 miles an hour back from, oops, sorry, Mr. Police Officer, but back from Grand Haven and realizing that I just might have lost my buddy. And when you do that, you do have a better perspective on not only what is important, but how many good people there are.
Well, on Sunday, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Love football. Who are you picking?
Wow, you know, what a privilege for us to do that. We get to play as like the prelude,
I know.
So that's always a big day too. But, you know, I've watched late night when I don't sleep. I love the Super Bowl week because they do all the human interest stories. It's like the Final Four. And I'm a big Jalen Hurt fan because, you know, he played for Saban. I watched him. I watched how he handled going from the mountaintop to down and then bouncing back. Love him. But Patrick Mahomes, to me, is, I've never heard him say the wrong thing. He walks the talk. I've never seen so many teammates admire him. The stories are just off the charts. And I think that Andy Reid, he used to be an office mate with Mariucci with the Packers when they were both just almost like GAs. And so I'm picking Kansas City, but you know, the other thing I love about Philly, now AJ will be mad at me probably because he's a Philly guy, but the other thing I love about Philly is they are tough. I mean, they are street tough. So I think it'll be a good game. So I'd like to get a win, come home, take the night off and watch the Super Bowl.
It would be a rare night off for Izzo, but one he would thoroughly enjoy. MSU tips off against Ohio State at 1 p.m. on Sunday in Columbus. All right, if you didn't know this, Spartan hockey is another one of Izzo's loves, and a ticket to Mud Ice Arena this season has become one of the hottest in town. It's why a pair of defensemen are grateful they decided to come back for one more year, and you're going to hear from them when the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show returns.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Last weekend, Michigan State's hockey team celebrated senior night in style by sweeping Notre Dame in front of its 7th sold-out crowd of the season at Mud Ice Arena. There's a completely different buzz surrounding the program right now than this time last year. And for the Krieger twins, Cole and Christian, this was almost a season that never was for them in East Lansing. The two entered the transfer portal to play one more year elsewhere. So what drove them to come back? Our Ian Crush sat down with them to get the answer.
Well, for just the sake of the interview, myself and those watching, we got Cole and Christian, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, cool. And despite what a lot of people might think, you guys are not identical. You guys are fraternal. What about each other makes you guys different?
Personality is one of those that people catch on pretty quickly. I think physically, there's a few things like Cole's a mole or different things that people have looked at, or kind of haircut. It looks the same, but it's different.
Growing up with your family, not only are you guys Big Ten athletes, your two sisters played soccer in the Big Ten, your brother played here, hockey as well. Just how did you guys all get into athletics and become these Division I athletes?
Yeah, I think from a young age, my parents wanted us in sports. It's a healthy thing for a kid to be in. You have a schedule. It teaches you how to be a teammate. We were all really competitive as kids and fighting all the time. So I feel like that competitive edge kind of allowed us all to succeed.
So the fighting that you guys do now on the ice is how you guys were growing up?
Probably a little worse. Yeah.
Spartans open to close it on a high note. Loading up is Krieger. He scores!
Was Michigan State always a school you guys had your eyes on growing up, or how did you guys kind of decide you wanted to come to Michigan State together?
I mean, growing up in Michigan and obviously really close to here, I was always a Michigan State fan. I never liked Michigan. So that was one of those things where I don't think I would have ever gone to Michigan. Michigan State wasn't really on our radar when we were first looking at schools. So with DC coming in 2018, we decommitted from Wisconsin in that April of 2018, so going into our freshman year.
How important was it for the two of you to want to play together? Was that something you made a priority at all?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of how it's always been. We never really were in the spot where one of us didn't make a team or one of us didn't fit like in that situation, kind of had to find a different path. I mean, I feel like it's kind of always been doing it together, and that's just how it's worked. So I feel like a lot of people would be like, did you guys plan that, or was it like that, or it just kind of worked out that way, which is a huge blessing in disguise.
And so after last season, you go through senior day, maybe you were thinking that was your last go around wearing the green and white, and then you guys entered the transfer portal for a moment and then decided to come back together. Just what about this new staff with Adam Nightingale you guys wanted to be a part of?
It was kind of a weird situation. We both went into the portal. I actually got a call from DC 3 days before he was let go and asked me if I wanted to swap back. They had some money for me, and with my options that I was going through, it seemed like the best fit. I know that the program wasn't in a spot that I was as confident going back to, but I knew that was going to be a good fit for me because of just the familiarity. I think the systems, the league we're in is really strong, and that's going to make you better. We didn't really know who was coming in, so Kirsten was kind of still waiting. And then after Nighty got hired, Kirsten, you can tell this part too, but yeah, for me, I was just at a point where I'd graduated. Cole changed his major early in college, so he was a couple credits behind me. And for me, it was kind of, I loved my time here, and I wouldn't have changed it for anything, but I was just looking for a new life or a new, just kind of spark to regenerate kind of what I had before I came in. And I felt like I kind of lost a little bit of myself from a standpoint of hockey and development in my time. So I think I was just really trying to take a step back and figure out what would have helped me develop and create for me to play on. And that's kind of where I was at in the whole process. I wasn't really in a rush. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And for me, I called Nighty back, and I was just like, I'm not done here. I told him the situation, how I was feeling, what I was looking for, and it was a fit. Not right away, but I called him, I let him know what I was doing, and then about a week later he gave me a call and said that he wanted me back and to be part of it.
Let's take a look at those standings, Fred. I mean, 2 through 6, good luck. It is going to be quite a finish to the regular season. And Michigan State gets a 3-2 win. The Spartans sweeping Notre Dame.
How often have you guys talked about hosting a Big Ten tournament game this year?
It's definitely been a focus. Like that's a goal of ours. Like we want to bring that back. We want to do that. Like we haven't done that since we've been here, and I think that's a good start and accomplishment. But I think it's just giving the ultimate accomplishment to that would be showing guys that like we can do it, and that this is where the program's going, and this is the standard.
Saturday is the Twins' final chance to play Michigan in the infamous Duel in the D. And when we come back, Adam Nightingale shares why playing at Little Caesars Arena is so important and how the Spartans have an opportunity to prove that they are one of the best college hockey programs in the country this year.
Closed captioning sponsored by Hearing Life, helping Spartans love their ears. With 41 locations across Michigan, go to hearinglife.com to take a free online hearing test. Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
First-year coach Adam Nightingale will tell you the Michigan State rivalry is one of the best in all of college hockey. And in the final series of the year between the two, the Spartans are playing for more than just bragging rights. Second place in the Big Ten is on the line, and they're also looking for an opportunity to host their first ever Big Ten tournament game. So with all the excitement around the program right now, who better to talk to than Nightingale himself? Let's start with this. So making the most of it. It's hard to believe that you only have 4 games left in the regular season. This weekend is no surprise of how huge the magnitude of it from a standing standpoint to also the rivalry aspect. But what do you hope that your team seizes this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think we want to take advantage of the opportunity, right? To get a chance to play our rival at home, and we're playing good hockey right now, and I think just finishing strong. We want to make sure that's part of our program. Like the second half of the year, we play our best hockey, and that's been the case as of late.
After the Notre Dame series, you were mentioning how you were really impressed with the guys, the seniors who had bought into the new staff, the guys who were committed already had bought into the new staff. But what have you been impressed with when it comes to your staff? Jared DeMichael, Mike Towns, now that you've had really almost a full season underneath your belt.
Yeah, great. First and foremost, great people. Like, enjoy being around them every day. Thankful that they decided to come here. Again, there are two guys that didn't apply. We went out and went after them, and they were in really good spots. And I think for our guys, they really help them on a daily basis. Be the best player that they can be the best person they can be. And then on the recruiting side, these guys they're really hard workers. They're out on the road, they're on the phone all the time trying to find us the best players we can get.
How much, too, do you think that Jared's experience of that championship pedigree, coming from a program that really was trying to rebuild, and then they did rebuild, has helped this season?
Big time, no, huge. I think his first year at UMass they had 5 wins, and then within the 7 years that he was there, they won the national championship and lost in the finals 1 year, and they're considered one of the top programs now. So that's really important for us because he's been exactly where we're at. And I think Townsley's kind of the same. When he was at AIC, they were kind of a bottom team in their conference, and they built it up and to the point where they're in the NCAA tournament every year, and then got acknowledged, with his talents to go to Clarkson and be associate coach. So I think combination of both those guys being in the exact spot we're in has been super valuable. With
your experience with the Detroit Red Wings, obviously the allure, some of it, of playing the dual in the D is that you do get to go to Little Caesars Arena. That's always an exciting time for college guys because they want to play there. They see the pros play there. What is it going to be like for you to go back there and be on the bench?
Yeah, no, excited about going back. We actually, my family and I went down, we did a promotion there for the dual in the D, and we went to the game, and that was actually the first time I'd watched a game in there. Like I was always working, so it's such a beautiful building, for the Red Wings to open it up to us and to be able to play this game there. I think it's going to be a special day.
Saturday's game in Detroit will mark the 4th meeting between the two rivals at Little Caesars Arena, and the Wolverines have won the last 3 straight games. As always, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show. Have a happy and healthy weekend.